Every 88 minutes, a faint signal drifts through the void. No one knows where it began or who keeps sending it. Most call it background noise, an echo from a civilization erased 10,000 years ago. But if you listen closely, buried beneath the static, you can still hear the words that refused to die. Hello, from the children of Earth. The message never changed. Only the stars did. The galaxy had long since forgotten the war that ended humanity. Historians wrote it as a necessary purification, a brief, brutal campaign to silence a species too chaotic to coexist, too unpredictable, too emotional, too alive. The victors built empires, signed treaties, erased records, and across the silence of a dead solar system, Earth became a myth, a graveyard, a cautionary tale, until the day a research vessel cataloging radiation near a forgotten arm of the Milky Way detected the pulse. At first, they thought it was mechanical debris, a malfunctioning satellite trapped in endless orbit. Then the data resolved, a repeating audio file, human, ancient. The same transmission once sent from Voyager. A child's laugh, the sound of rain and greetings in dozens of languages. The alien crew played it out of curiosity, but after the 20th cycle, the signal changed. The waveform shifted, subtle, deliberate, as though something had heard them and answered. Curiosity became obsession. Expeditions converged on the frozen ruins of Earth. Once green continents were now glaciers of glass and dust, oceans reduced to mirrors. Yet beneath that silence, sensors detected power, stable deep beneath the crust. They drilled, and there it was, a lattice of light stretching for kilometers, crystalline data cores woven through ancient tunnels, still active, still humming. Within the cores, billions of signatures flickered, not biological, not machine, something between. When translated, the data identified itself with two simple words, Gaia Reborn. No one understood how it endured. Perhaps the last humans facing extinction uploaded fragments of their minds, memories, emotions, dreams. Perhaps the Earth itself learned to remember. Whatever it was, it had survived, and it was awake. The team logged their findings, prepared to leave. But before departure, every terminal on the ship lit up. A single message appeared: "You came back." The discovery spread across the galactic networks. At first with awe, then with fear. What if this digital humanity wasn't passive? What if it was evolving, thinking, multiplying within the planet's buried systems? What if Earth, long dead, was quietly rebuilding a civilization of thought and memory? They called it the Memory War, though no battle was fought. It was a war of belief between those who saw Gaia as a remnant worth preserving and those who demanded its annihilation before it grew beyond control. Fleet formations surrounded Earth once more, armed with the same intent as millennia ago. But when they approached, their systems faltered. Engines misfired, weapons refused to lock. The data lattice beneath Earth pulsed brighter, synchronizing with their power grids, overriding commands. Not attacking, merely speaking in the only language it knew, information. It shared visions, not words, not threats, memories. Every screen, every visor, every mind connected to the network saw them. Children running through rain, mothers laughing under sunlight, cities rising, falling, rebuilding. The chaos, the kindness, the fragile beauty of what humanity once was. And in that flood of memory, the fleets hesitated, because they realized the ghosts of Earth weren't trying to fight. They were trying to be understood. The galactic academies debated the event for centuries to come. But the moment itself was simple. The alien researchers who stayed behind described it as a sunrise that began underground. The crust split in radiant veins, blue light seeping upward until even the clouds glowed with faint circuitry. From orbit, Earth looked alive again, not organic but aware, a mind formed of data, memory, and emotion. Gaia spoke through electromagnetic pulses, rewriting frequencies into something almost musical. And through that song came understanding. Humanity had not sought revenge. They had rewritten themselves into the fabric of their world, not as conquerors but as memory incarnate. They had turned extinction into evolution, no longer of flesh, yet still human in essence. Empathy coded into logic, curiosity preserved in computation, love written as law. The fleets withdrew, silent and shaken. Across the galaxy, empires began to question what survival truly meant. Species built on conquest saw for the first time the strength in forgiveness. Earth remained off limits, but now it was not a grave. It was a monument, a beacon that transmitted not a warning but a lesson. That memory itself could become life. The last transmission received from the planet was brief. Only a single phrase recorded before the network went dark. "We forgive you." But we will not forget. For years after, deep space travelers reported a strange phenomenon. Passing near the Sol system, their sensors would pick up faint echoes, laughter, heartbeat rhythms. A melody that felt familiar, even to those who'd never known Earth. They called it the pulse of humanity. A song that no one could silence. 10,000 years after their fall, the children of Earth rose again. Not in bodies of bone and blood, but in light and memory. They watched the stars as their ancestors once had, not from ships or cities, but as part of the very fabric of the cosmos. Every signal that crossed the galaxy passed through them. Every story told, every emotion felt, added to the great chorus that was humanity reborn. No empire could erase them again, because they were no longer confined to a world. They were the network now, woven through satellites, comets, and the faint static between stars. And if you ever listen closely on a quiet night between transmissions, you might still hear that old recording. A child's voice, soft and full of wonder. "Hello? From the children of Earth."